The movie begins in 1959 on a roaring train cutting across the night. Among the passengers is Hellboy, the towering red-skinned investigator, who steps out for a cigarette. The quiet is broken when he catches a sound he can't explain. Turning to Bobby Joe, his partner on this mission, he asks if she heard it too, but she brushes it off. Another agent smirks, mocking Hellboy for being jumpy, but Hellboy stays calm, reminding them that his only job is to make sure the crate they are guarding reaches Fairfield safely, over 600 miles away. Back in the car, curiosity pushes one of the agents to ask what's locked inside the box. Joe explains it holds a rare and extremely dangerous spider known as a firewise, believed to harbor a demonic spirit and connected to countless strange deaths. Scientists want to study it under controlled conditions before it can cause more havoc. The uneasy silence is shattered when Hellboy hears the same noise again. Without warning, the box bursts open, releasing the monstrous spider. It lunges at the agent, tearing off his head in an instant. Panic erupts as Joe stumbles away while Hellboy fights to contain the creature in the swaying car. The struggle grows so violent that the train derails, sending them crashing into a dark Appalachian forest. Dazed but alive, Hellboy and Joe pull themselves up, realizing the spider has escaped. They follow its trail, only for Hellboy to be ambushed among the trees. He manages to pin it against a trunk, but the beast shrinks in size and slips into a tunnel leading deeper into the forest. Joe explains that the Appalachians are riddled with such passages, meaning the spider is now lost underground. Though disappointed, Hellboy feels an even darker presence surrounding them. He recalls a tale his father once told him about an ancient entity known as the Crooked Man, and he begins to suspect the thing he's been hearing is connected. Seeking help, the two approach a lonely farmhouse. The child inside burns with a fever, and though Hellboy suggests a doctor, the mother insists this isn't sickness but a curse. A local witch named Cora Fisher has possessed the boy after he threw stones at her house. Soon Tom Ferell arrives, confirming the curse and showing them a witch ball, an object of dark magic. He admits he once knew Cora before she fell into witchcraft and offers to guide them to her. Hellboy is reluctant, but Joe insists they need her knowledge, especially if it can reveal more about the spider. Despite his irritation, Hellboy agrees, and the group sets out. Meanwhile, in a secluded cabin, an elderly woman converses with a raven about creating a witch ball. She explains the gruesome ingredients, animal parts, snails, and even human hair while the bird listens. Back with Hellboy's group, they reach Cora's home only to find it empty. Inside are animal corpses, ritual remnants, and a basement filled with witch balls. Upstairs, Joe discovers what looks like a corpse but realizes with horror it's Cora's shed skin. Before long, a raccoon crawls into the skin, reanimating the witch with ear-splitting screams. While Tom stays behind, Hellboy and Joe retreat to regroup. Tom tries to reason with Cora, who shows flashes of regret. She admits to cursing the boy but also confesses she once had a family of her own, long gone. Her fear grows as if something greater than herself is hunting her. Suddenly the door bursts open and Effie appears, unnervingly cheerful. Tom recognizes her instantly, his past love who hasn't aged a day. She taunts him, revealing she has been tormenting Cora and even turned his father into the horse she rides. When the spell breaks, Tom's father collapses, restored to human form just long enough to die in his son's arms. Devastated, Tom swears to confront the Crooked Man. As night deepens, an insect bites Cora, knocking her unconscious, and everyone else falls into a magical sleep. Hellboy alone resists, haunted by visions of his mother, Sarah, a witch burned at the stake. At dawn they set out again. Joe questions Cora about her magic, and the witch admits she once sold her soul, forced to channel her sorrow into spells. She warns Joe to be careful with such power. Soon after, Cora vanishes and is found levitating in the forest. Snakes crawl into her body until one attacks Hellboy. He kills it, but the vision that follows shows him his mother's damnation and reveals his true name, Ainung Yuen Rama, a child born of a fallen angel. When Hellboy wakes, he learns Cora has dissolved into the earth, leaving Tom guilt-ridden. They continue on, reaching a church where Tom plans to bury his father. The blind Reverend Watts recognizes Tom's voice. But soon witches gather outside, waiting for nightfall. The Reverend warns that the crooked man grows stronger after dark. As the sun unnaturally sets, fear spreads. Inside, Tom hears Effie whisper that everyone will die because of him. Then the crooked man arrives, grotesque and twisted, demanding Tom's soul and the cat bone he carries. Hellboy steps forward, refusing to surrender anyone. The crooked man taunts him, even offering to spare Sarah's soul in exchange. When Hellboy fires, the entity bends iron bars to impale him. Joe rescues Hellboy, pulling the bars free, while the crooked man tempts the Reverend with youth and restored sight. For a moment, the priest's hands look young again, but he rejects the offer and prays louder. Enraged, the crooked man raises the dead from their graves to storm the church. Hellboy fights off zombies, Tom sorrowfully puts down his reanimated father, and the priest begs for the cat bone's power. Using it, he blesses a shovel with Christian magic and gives it to Hellboy, who wields it like a weapon, cutting through the undead and even striking the crooked man, forcing him into retreat. Daylight briefly returns, but Hellboy insists they must finish the fight before he regains strength. Hellboy and Tom push deeper into the crooked hills while Joe and the priest head toward the mines. Joe realizes the tunnels may be the source of the crooked man's power, like veins running through the land. With no explosives, she attempts to use her limited magic. But in the darkness of the mine, the crooked man seizes the Reverend through a swarm of crows, tearing out his eyes and taking his body. Meanwhile, Hellboy finds himself in a surreal hall filled with rotting food and echoes of crying infants. Visions twist around him until he finds his mother again. She begs for release, but Hellboy coldly rejects her, admitting he feels only hatred for what she represents. She vanishes into flames, leaving him bitter. Tom encounters Effie, who tries to seduce him with memories of their past. He wounds her with the cat bone, forcing her to flee. In the mines, Joe finally comes face to face with the demonic spider that escaped earlier. Focusing on her grief, the death of her father, she summons enough power to destroy it. At the same time, Hellboy nearly succumbs to despair, tempted to end his own life, but Tom pulls him back. Together they descend to confront the crooked man one last time. Inside the decaying house, they discover him devouring flesh. Hellboy attacks, but the creature shrugs off bullets and vomits swarms of worms onto him. Tom hurls a witch ball into his mouth, stunning him, and Hellboy drives him down the stairs. The crooked man bursts apart into a shower of pennies, his soul imprisoned within them. Laughing bitterly, he warns they will all join him in hell eventually. Hellboy fires one final shot, destroying him completely. It turns out the cat bone Tom carried was never the source of power, the strength lay within Tom himself, which is what the crooked man feared most. They find Effie hiding, weakened without her master. Tom deals with her, ensuring she can no longer harm anyone. Outside, Joe emerges with the spider trapped in a jar, though she reveals the raven who guided her has died in the tunnels. The group is finally rescued by helicopter, though scarred by what they endured. Hellboy feels hopeful, the crooked man is gone, the witch is weakened, and Tom vows to protect the land. But in a chilling final note, Effie is transformed into a horse, marked with a warning, "Beware, I'm a witch." And that's how the movie comes to an end. We'll meet again in the next story. Always stay happy and keep smiling. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe and share it with your friends too.